Howdy, howdy, folks, and welcome to another episode of the spin-off, Movie Butter. It's me, Mark Harpus, from Blink-182.
And it's me, Oogie Boogie.
Hello there. Wait, no, that's not the line. We'll have Halloween on Christmas.
Oh my god. You know, my favorite, can I just say, my favorite part about doing The Nightmare Before Christmas is that I get to re-experience a line that I always forget, but then get reintroduced to. You remember the interaction with, Santa Claus and Oogie Boogie, where Santa Claus is like, what are you gonna do? And Oogie's response is, I'm gonna do the best I can. And it gets me every fucking time. Every time that I hear that, I instantly just laugh. It's not even, and I've watched this movie for such a long time, right? So it's not like we watch this every year around Halloween, but still, I think this actually might be our first time that we have an actual argument based on The Nightmare Before Christmas, like an actual nerd hell strong opinion on this.
Okay,
we'll get to it.
What is it?
We'll get to it. And I'm going to explain to you my views on it, but I think that we need to kind of go through a movie synopsis of this before we do all this other stuff, right?
That's completely fine. And ladies and gentlemen, if you could not tell, the movie we watched was Nightmare Before Christmas, directed by Tim Burton. Tim Burton's
Technically
Night Before Christmas.
Not directed by Tim Burton, directed by Henry Selick.
But owned by Tim Burton. I don't know.
Tim Burton wrote a poem that was basically the night before Christmas, but it's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh,
right, because he's an edgy emo boy that still lives in his 50s and 60s as an emo boy. So
hey, Frankenweenie was a beautiful story.
Oh my god, right? But a lot of the stuff that Tim Burton you think that he directs are not actually him directing. It's
really
Yeah, a lot of it, right?
You mean he didn't do Batman with bat nipples?
No, he did do Batman, but not the one with bat nipples. That was a different person. That was a German director. Yeah. So, okay. So, why don't we go ahead and go over the plot? And by the way, spoilers to a movie that came out in 1993. So, if you haven't seen it yet, seriously go watch it before you do anything else, because it's not our fault.
This movie is older than I am.
This movie is literally 3 years younger than me, right? So, still. All right, so Halloween Town is a fantasy world filled with various monsters and supernatural beings associated with the holiday. Jack Skellington, respected by the citizens as the, quote, Pumpkin King, end quote, leads them in organizing an annual Halloween celebration. However, Jack has grown weary of the same annual routine and wants something new. Wandering in the woods the next morning, he encounters 6 trees containing doors leading to other holiday-themed towns and enters one for Christmas Town. Awed by the unfamiliar holiday, Jack returns to Halloween Town to show the residents his findings, but unaware of the ideas of Christmas, they compare everything to their ideas of Halloween. However, they do relate to one Christmas Town character, its ruler, Santa Claus, or known as Sandy Claus, as Jack mistakenly calls him. Jack sequesters himself in his tower to study Christmas murder, and to find a way to rationally explain it, he ultimately decides that Christmas Town deserves a break and announces that Halloween Town will take over Christmas this year. Jack assigns the citizens of Halloween Town themed jobs, including singing carols, making presents, and building sleighs pulled by skeleton reindeer. Sally, a beautiful ragdoll woman who secretly loves Jack, experiences a vision that their effort will disastrously end, but Jack dismisses this, tasking mischievous trick-or-treating trio Lock, Shock, and Barrel to abduct Santa and bring him to Halloween Town. Jack tells Santa he will be handling Christmas in his place this year and orders the trio to keep Santa safe, but against his wishes, they deliver Santa to Oogie Boogie, the gambling boogeyman who plots to play a game with Santa's life at stake. Sally attempts to rescue Santa so he can save Jack from his potential fate, but Oogie captures her as well. Jack departs and delivers the presents to the real world, but instead they frighten the populace, which force people to lock down their homes. When word spreads around Jack's presumed wrongdoings, he's shot down by the military, causing him to crash in a cemetery. While the saddened residents of the Halloween Town think he is dead, Jack has actually survived. And while he bemoans the disaster that he has made of Christmas, he finds he enjoyed the experience nonetheless, reigniting his love of Halloween. but soon realizes he must act to fix his mess. Jack returns to Halloween Town and infiltrates Oogie's lair, confronting and defeating him by ripping apart the thread holding the cloth form together, causing the bugs inside Oogie Boogie to spill out, reducing him to nothing. Jack apologizes to Santa for his actions, despite being furious at Jack for the chaos he's caused and for ignoring Sally's forewarnings. Santa remains certain that he can fix things and departs. Santa replaces all of Jack's presents with the genuine ones. The townspeople of Halloween Town celebrate Jack's survival. Santa then shows that he has forgiven Jack by bringing a snowfall to Halloween Town, which fulfills Jack's original dream and causes Halloween Town residents to finally realize what Christmas is really about. Afterwards, Jack and Sally meet on a spiral hill and declare their love for each other. The end.
Yo, I can't believe Jack was shot down by Sam Turns.
Right. He was shot down by the U.S. Air Force, right?
And I also want to say, this is technically my first time watching the movie.
I was surprised, right? Because, usually there's, a big overlap between weeaboos and people who have watched, Nightmare Before Christmas.
The reason being, I watched it once as a kid, and it scared the bejeebus out of me because I was a scaredy cat when I was younger.
Yeah.
I'll admit, I still am a scaredy cat today. I just understand that it's not real. But as a kid, that movie scared the shit out of me.
Oh man. Well,
so I never really gave it a second
the good news
watch.
Is that we're doing this one, and then we're doing another cutesy Halloween one, and then I want to see if we can actually do a actual horror movie, right? But not I hate jump scares. I think jump scares are cheap, and I think they're fucking awful. So I do not like to be how do I say this? I don't like to be scared, and I don't understand the people who pay actual money to go get scared. That's just nothing I can't do.
Psychological horrors.
You like psychological horrors? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah,
what did you think of this, man? It's your first time watching.
I really liked it. It was adorable, oddly funny.
Yeah.
Two things I want to point out. They had Thanksgiving Town and Valentine's Town. Now, Thanksgiving Town, I have no clue what that would look like, but Valentine's Town must be goddamn wild.
What if Valentine's Town is basically just everyone fucking? Just that's it. That's
what I'm imagining.
Well, because here's the thing, right? Is that all the towns are basically cartoonish versions of themselves, right? Where they represent certain things. So wouldn't that be more chaotic than Halloween Town? Is
honestly, yes.
People falling in and out of love, and then they're just being orgies everywhere. You're just what the fuck is all of this? And the other thing I noticed is that there's a St. Patrick's holiday. And I was dude, I could not do that. I really couldn't. Number one, it would smell like vomit and piss everywhere. Number two, there would be Mexican people celebrating, being hey, I'm a quarter Irish. And be okay, great. Thank you.
We look inside. It's just Homer Simpson, Peter Griffin.
Oh, my God.
But I was going to say, if Jack does go to Valentine's Town, he could still say, what's this? There's white stuff in the air.
Yeah. I mean, it would be kind of a parallel for that, right? But still.
In the beginning, I feel bad for Jack because, every girl in this movie wants their cream of oats from him. They will not leave him alone. Literally, people are seeing outside his door, Jack's been in there for an awfully long time.
Yeah.
He dies.
Yeah.
The mayor has to. Oh my God. I feel bad for this man. That is so annoying.
Yeah.
But also,
you feel bad? You feel bad about the fact that basically everyone simps for him so fucking hard that it's really awkward.
He can't get a break.
No, he can't. What was in the beginning where they're you make wounds, ooh, and I was ugh.
Yeah,
what the fuck, lady? Get away from me.
That's a Halloween thing, but lady, don't talk about open wounds and oozing. I know what you mean. I know what Tim Burton meant.
Oh my god.
But also, you know why?
What?
Jack's 6 feet tall.
Oh man, he is he's 6 foot. He's 6 foot tall, and he's got that manorexic look about him, right? He's the perfect target for emo girls everywhere, and the goth ladies too. But still, I noticed something too, right? So in this movie, they have a literal hangman's tree with skeletons that are hanging from it, and the skeletons are also apparently sentient, because in the town meeting, one of them scratches their head, so I wrote down in my notes, so what makes Jack as a skeleton more special than the other ones that are hung from a tree?
He's King Skeleton.
He's the Pumpkin King. He's not even a skeleton. He's not even a pumpkin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still, like, what is the other one?
Also, the cat from Caroline showed up in this. I swear to God, that black cat that showed up like twice.
Oh,
that was the exact cat
from Coraline.
Yeah, that's the exact same cat.
Oh my God, that's so funny, dude. I noticed some stuff in this movie that I actually didn't know it before, because I usually just play this movie on and just like kind of enjoy it. I've never like I've never actively criticized a movie like this, and it's I have to say, right, like Jack and Sally's relationship is the worst thing I've ever seen. Literally, she has noticed me senpai the entire time, and then all of a sudden,
it's not parasocial if he loves me too.
He's not parasocial, right? It's like, yeah, it's like a fucking still, like, why did she bring him dinner unannounced, and then why is there a hook? No, why is there a hook outside of his room that she can use, like a rope hook that she can like bring stuff up to him without just knocking on the door? Right?
See, and this is the problem with Hollywood movies. We only see Sally's beauty. We don't know that she's an expert mountain climber.
Dude, we don't know that Sally's not like psychotic, right? Because apparently she's someone who will give Jack an entire basket of food and wine, and then like simp for him so hard that she's like literally throwing herself out of a building to go see him.
God. I forgot. She fucking free willied out that window.
Dude,
and fell apart.
Could you make a joke like that in nowadays times, right? Because think about it, like that's a literal suicide joke. Because she jumps out the window, and then like she's like contorted like someone who commits suicide, and there are leaves all over representing for like the blood, and then a camera pans down onto her face, and then she just opens her eyes, right? Like it's like it dwells on it for a second too.
You know, she could have been smart. Throw an arm down, throw a leg down, and then you can play catch with yourself. It's fun.
Dude,
it's for kids.
I don't get it, but hey, fine, right? Like there are all these like Hot Topic T-shirts that I see, or like even people still today that like love Sally and Jack's relationship, but it is like the most one-sided relationship ever. Like basically the entire thing, Jack is like super into his work and super into his purpose and that kind of shit. And then all of a sudden at the end when Santa Claus is like, you should have listened to her. You were not, she was simping hard for you. Why are you being such a little fuckboy? And then all of a sudden Jack's like, you're right. I am. I love her. And then, you know, right. I need some more, right? I need a sequel to this movie to find out how the relationship works out, right? Because obviously Sally has nowhere else to go because that doctor basically created another like servant. And
bro, he made himself as a woman. So like that doctor, all he wanted was just an anime waifu maid.
Dude,
that's all he wanted.
Like I even think that he's like doing weird stuff to them too, because he always talks about experimenting on them. Like in the scene where he's sewing her up, she's just like, I don't want to be a part of your experiments. What?
And he had an Igor the entire time that shows up for 5 seconds. Yes, master.
Here's the plans. We're literally gonna dig up some dead reindeer, or dig up some dead deer. Not even reindeer, some dead deer, and then we're gonna fucking bring them back to life. Yeah.
Speaking of experiments, fucking Jack's experiments with the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
That shit was adorable. I love that. He's like cutting open teddy bears, like,
what was
like he's dissecting them.
My part for that was like, do they not have cotton in Halloween Town? Right? Like, do they not like?
Good point.
Because what would they like fill up some of their like other stuff with, right? Or because you know, we have a neighbor around we have a neighbor around where I live who has, because we take cash for walks every morning around like 5 a.m. because it's the only time in Texas that it's actually like cool. We go, and every time there is a person that has this little rubber mask that they filled with newspaper and then they sewed up at the end so it looks like an actual head.
Jesus.
And I'm like, okay, but couldn't you fill that with cotton? But then I'm like, okay, no, because then cotton would get like bugs in it and that kind of stuff. You could just always throw away newspaper. But not
Also,
even
newspaper
that.
free.
Just the other part of it is, I also thought it's Halloween Town, right? So they're actually using real heads. They're not using fake shit like we are. They're actually doing like the real thing.
I was gonna say because I loved when Jack was like trying to deliver presents because he was just having fun, right?
Yeah.
He was just having a grand old time. And when he gave that kid the head and the kid pulled the head out of the box, I actually went like, holy shit. That's kind of fucking terrifying.
Dude, when the fat kid's running and the like pumpkin Jack in the Box is like running after him, it actually just reminded us like, is that Santa Claus running or being chased by Jack Skellington? You know, the Pumpkin King? Ooh. Well, yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's a good movie. I really do. And I enjoy it, and I forget how much I enjoyed it, and then I watch it, and then I get sucked into it. I guess, like, it's part of the things of, like, I'm kind of gothy myself, right? So I get it, and I understand watching it as a kid. When I first watched this movie, I remember this movie really, really well. Because it was 1997, and the only reason that I know that this movie, I watched this movie in 1997 was because that's the same year that Pokemon Red came to the United States. And I was getting over my illness, and it was about to be Halloween, right? And so my mom rented me The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it was the first time I had watched it, and I watched it in my room when I was sick, and I remember just thinking, what the fuck is this? What am I watching? This is fantastic. This is great. Because
it's fun.
I mean, because back then my parents were like, you need to watch Jesus Bible stuff, right? Or here, I guess you're going to have to watch The Lord of the Rings from the 1970s cartoon again. So, you know, it was great, right? Interestingly enough, I dig the music because this might technically be the first ever musical that I remember. Because would you consider this a musical?
I would consider it a musical. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's talk about the score, right? Danny Elfman, right? The fucking master, the genius, the man behind some of the biggest movies in the world, the music for those. Dude, this man was actually the voice of Jack Skellington's singing voice.
Really?
So not only did
he had two voice actors.
Yeah, so not only did he compose the entirety of this like soundtrack, he also sang it, right? So,
damn.
Yeah, like I'm looking at sort of some of the fact sheets here because this movie I could believe would scare some kids, right? Because the very first like 10 minutes, the Halloween stuff, they're going through some like actual legit monster shit, right? And apparently
snakes for fingers.
Disney was like, yeah, we're not going to release it through our Disney line. We're going to release it through Touchstone Pictures distribution because, and I'm quoting here from an article that was released on Forbes in October 15th, 2013 that said, quote, it would be too dark and scary for kids.
I mean, I can see why they thought that.
Yeah. I mean, still... It's just got a lot, right? It's got a lot. It really does. So, I don't know. My other favorite interaction that I noticed is that there is like a devil, like a legitimate like Satan is in this movie.
I saw him too.
And what is it? The only line that he has is like when he talks about Jack, and the other one that he has is just, "It's time to party." And I'm just like, dude. Yes, I need a ringtone with that.
I bring drugs.
Dude, Satan would be down to party. Wouldn't you think?
I mean, he is the party temptation.
I know.
He's the party king.
My other thing that I kind of noticed, and I know that it seems like we're kind of jumping around on subjects here, is that Because I'm just looking at my notes, because obviously this is really fresh. And so,
I'm looking at my notes too. Yeah.
what is it? So the doctor said, hey, that deadly nightshade that you gave me, it wore off. So does no one die in Halloween Town? So then what's
And
the
if
stake if no one dies? Because Sally jumped out of a fucking building and sewed herself back up.
Romeo!
This doctor has been poisoned at least 4 times in 1 week, according to Sally herself, right? So, like, what's the deal? Like, is Oogie Boogie even really dead?
You know what? If you can just get a collection of bugs, what it takes is a bug trainer Pokemon. What's his name? Bugsy from Pokemon. That's what we need, and then we get Oogie Boogie back.
Oh my god, like from the original ones, like the kid with the little like fishing
He's got
tackle
the
box and the butterfly net, and he's like, I'm ready.
He's got the hats and the shorts,
Go
and then
evil!
you pull out your Pokemon, a Hammer Master, and then the bug dies.
Yeah.
But
Dude.
Boogie Woogie was like a weird amalgamation of things because I wrote it down. He's like voodoo. He's got like some Day of the Dead skeletons. He's a gambling man, and he's filled with bugs. He is a lot of things.
Maybe Oogie Boogie, and I'm obviously going to read way too much into this, right? So don't take anything that I say seriously, right? Maybe Oogie
Let's go for
Boogie
it.
is the commodification of Halloween.
What's a commodification?
So it's when you like make it into a capitalist like holiday, right? So when you commodify something, you're essentially making a product out of something that did not used to be like a product. So Halloween,
It could
right?
be. Yeah.
Halloween was not always like one of those things of like it being widely celebrated outside of Ireland. And even on Halloween, like Halloween was barely, it's like more of like a kids kind of thing. So, but like it was like in ancient times, right? But not anymore because, you know, Catholicism is the thing. But still, because Oogie Boogie has like all these different collections of things. And he's obviously someone who's very much like nasty on the inside, right? And he's separated from everyone else. And if he's a gambling person, right, if he owns the gambling casino inside of Halloween Town, then that means that he is essentially taking everyone's money. Because he cheats. He always does, right?
He does, yeah.
Like he fucking cheats
Snake
everyone.
guys!
I don't know. That's my non-take from this. Mark's
I get
Mark
ya.
Senpai. Notice me. No, he can't. He's
He-
dead. So
He also has a foot fetish.
yeah, but the other
I
part
don't know.
is like
I don't know if that's true, but I get it. It's like a kids' movie, so
Yeah.
they can't have him like
we can't have
put
him
his
actually,
hand
like,
up the
being,
leg.
like, yeah, being like really bad. Right?
I mean, he just took the. He started tickling the foot. I'm like, yo, what the fuck,
Yeah. Yeah. Dude,
bro? It's Dan Schneider.
oh, dude,
It's Quentin Tarantino.
Dude, Quentin Tarantino's got some issues, like some real big issues. I love him as a director, and he's obviously like the weirdo that I kind of like, right? But like, Jesus, good to know that like Halloween Town does make several appearances in the Kingdom Hearts series.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I think one of the, because I played Kingdom Hearts 1, right? Because that was the only one that I ever played because I had like a PlayStation 3 for like a couple of seconds and then it broke and I got a PlayStation 4. But I just never played like the Kingdom Hearts. But I remember one of the levels is that, you know, you fight Oogie Boogie because, you know, you go around as Sora, and Sora becomes a monster when he comes into into that world, right? He like,
Oh, that's adorable.
I
I need to
know.
play Kingdom Hearts.
dude, I actually kind of want to replay it now, because I don't know, because the other part of it is that I don't know if I could get into Kingdom Hearts because there's so many games and they stretch across so many different things, and there's such a
Wait a minute.
complicated storyline. I don't know if I could play it.
They have my favorite game title of all time. Hang on, I need to look this up because I can't disgrace the good name.
What? Oh, just
Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue.
oh my god, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Like, that's the thing that frustrates me about Kingdom Hearts, right? Is that I actually fucking like grew up with Kingdom Hearts, right? But then it's like Nomura is just like, I'm Nomura. I literally look like a Japanese anime character in real life. And I dress like one too. I'm going to make everything super fucking complicated so that
Oh
you
my
don't
god, he
understand it.
does. He
Yeah.
does.
No, like
He,
tweet out a
he looks
picture
like.
on our Twitter, right? At NerdHellPodcast. It's
Hey, yes, in fact, I'm gonna. This is the image that we're looking at right now. This man looks exactly like. He looks like main character. He's got main character syndrome.
oh, dude, like
You
there's
see this
actually a
photo, Stanley?
subreddit. There's actually a subreddit that's like main character where it's like people that act like they're the only ones that matter and everyone else is an NPC. Dude, he totally looks like that. So,
Bro, this man is actually anime. That's so funny.
yeah. Yeah, dude, like he's pretty into that. So,
Boogie Woogie for Smash.
Boogie Woogie for no more Smash. We don't have any more Smash characters, dude. Sora got it.
Yeah, exactly, which is cool. And back to the movie, I do want to. So, I don't know anything about the Boogeyman. Like growing up, you hear Boogeyman, but I've never seen like a photo of him or something, right? Like an artist depiction.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting, like that he was just a sack filled with bugs. It was gross, but it was super cool. So, do we have any like historical insight on the Boogeyman or something like that?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this: a lot of boogeyman, essentially throughout history, have been just sort of mythical creatures that were made by adults to like get kids to have good behavior, right? They don't really have a specific appearance, and their conceptions like vary drastically amongst like whatever culture you're looking at. But essentially, it's like you depict them as either like this masculine or androgynous kind of a monster person that like tries to like murder or punish children for doing bad things, right? So one of the things is that there's like a boogeyman in Tanzania which is in Africa, right, the heart of Africa, where the parents will tell them that if the kid acts bad, then they're going to sell them to the white devil. And right, and then there's other boogeymans throughout, like, things too. There's even some people who kind of like claim that like the term boogeyman is sort of like the devil in that kind of case. He just kind of comes around. So,
Satan, Satan, Satan!
Satan, yes, obviously, in Satan. Okay, but I mean, I can give you some examples, right? So
No, because like if boogeyman isn't a person and it's just like a term, then that kind of makes sense because then we can draw on our boogeyman like La Llorona, technically a boogie woman because she's so kids don't leave the house at night. La Chupacabra, a boogie creature,
Yeah.
so kids close the gate.
yeah, I mean, hey, what is it in Germany? The boogeyman is known as der Schwarze, which means the black man. But like, I want to make something really clear here. Like, Schwarz doesn't mean like he's a black person. Like, it just means that it's where he hides during the day. He hides in like black places, like in dark places, like in closets, under the bed, that kind of shit. There's even like an active game for children called Wer hat Angst von Schwarzem Mann, which means like who is afraid of the black man. And there's even like a traditional song around it called Es tanzt ein Beuzer Mann in unser Haus herum, which translates to like a ba boogie man dances around our house. And it's some fucked up shit, right? It's what is it? The boogeyman game is basically a player chosen as the boogeyman stands at the end of a yard and the other players stand at the opposite end, and the boogeyman calls, "Are you afraid of the boogeyman?" The others answer no and run, trying to pass him and reach the opposite end of the yard. The boogeyman tags one or two, and they have to go with him on his side of the yard and play as the boogeyman. And then they kind of play and repeat until all the runners are caught by the boogeyman and his helper. And the last one that is actually caught becomes the new boogeyman of the next game. So
Also, boogeyman, what we used to call anybody who's really good at dancing to Bee Gees.
oh my god.
Because he knows how to boogie.
Oh, dude. So there's actually another one that's my favorite one. from Iceland. Her name is
Yeah.
Grilla. Grilla is actually is an ice giant, right? She's a Jotun, and Grilla basically she will find out who the bad children in Iceland are, and then on Christmas Eve she'll like break into people's houses and then literally eviscerate them and eat them.
Jesus Christ.
I know, right? And apparently she gave birth to like 12 kids, but they're called the Yule Lads. And the Yule Lads are like these mountain dwelling monsters that come down during Christmas. And like during the 12 days of Christmas, each Yule Lad goes out during one of those days and then just tries to fuck shit up. Like, it's so great. I love, dude, Christmas has a lot of fucked up, horrifying things, dude. I'm not joking. Like, Christmas actually has like a spooky side to it, and I want to explore it. So, still, yeah, man, like, I don't know. A lot of these like different types of folklores and everything with the boogeyman, it's really just kind of like I said, it really depends on like what country you're from or like where you're from. Because I mean, like, what is it? Spanish speaking countries, like you were saying, like El Chupacabra, but wouldn't that be more like just like, you know, a beast that eats other beasts?
I mean, well, so the reason for the chupacabra literally means goat sucker. It's so kids like won't leave the gate open, right? Because if you leave the gate open, then nothing's stopping the chupacabra from coming in, killing our goats, and now you have nothing to eat. So close the goddamn gate at night.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, so it was basically a cautionary tale. So because, you know, they're kids, they're going to leave the gate open, and if they do, the animals are going to get out. So make sure to close the gate because that's the only thing keeping the chupacabra out.
Oh, so I was actually kind of interested in, because the chupacabra, right? Obviously, like I know that too because I'm from Texas, right? So obviously, you know, we have an intersection between Anglo and Hispanic folklore that kind of goes on. But I actually looked up what the boogeyman is in like Spanish-speaking countries, and apparently there's something known as the koku, and I'm going to give you like a link to this because I am looking at this and I'm like, okay, so apparently the legend in Portugal and Latin America is that parents sometimes invoke the kuka as a way of discouraging children from misbehaving. They sing lullabies or tell their rhymes warning their children that if they don't obey their parents, El Coco will come and get them and eat them.
I've never heard of El Coco, but I will say that in Brazil they call UFOs chupa chupa, which means suck suck.
Chupa chupa. Great.
Suck suck.
Suck suck. Yeah.
No, like literally, because chupa means suck, because UFOs suck you into the air.
Oh, shit.
But real quick, we're at a 30-minute mark. We're going to take some breaks, folks. The spiders in my hair have gotten out, and I need to go capture them.
And I need to go get some more frog's breath and deadly nightshade to feed myself later. So
I'm kind of happy that it was a frog breathing into the soup and not just like a cloud. If it was a cloud, I'd be disappointed.
Okay, great. But see y'all soon.
Wait. Oh, it's pronounced kukui.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard of the kukui.
Dude, you can't rely on me to say like Hispanic or like Hispanic stuff. You know I'm like Irish as fuck.
It's not you, because like I've heard of the kukui, but I've never like learned anything about it. That story was never like taught to me when I was a kid. It was just chupacabra and llorona.
Dude, just ask your mom. Like ask her, she probably knows.
Oh no, it was the men in vans. Oh. It was that chupacabra, llorona, and those guys over there sitting in a van.
Right. So I know that we had talked about this before the show, but I wanted to bring up what was called antinatalism. So
yeah, you said that word. I said, "What's that?" And you said, "Wait until the podcast."
I know, right? I was being purposefully pedantic with that one. So what happened is that I found the parable of like Sally being like, "But I didn't ask to be made. I didn't ask to do this." Was actually really much like almost a Frankenstein's kind of like thing. Because if you've ever read like Mary Shelley, her Frankenstein, the actual book, because I read it when I was in high school and I keep reading it again because it's actually like one of the first forays into like true gothic horror. Frankenstein in himself is also a monster who experiences massive hardship and abuse from his creator and then is essentially tossed aside for something else, for a new creation. And I mean, the original one, he murders Frankenstein, right? For Frankenstein's monster just like literally kills him. But Sally on herself, she like promotes this idea of antinatalism. So antinatalism is this philosophical conception of I didn't ask to be born, nor do I believe that like existence is worth being born for. So it's a very much like a Frankenstein kind of problem, but there is actually a legitimate movement of antinatalists that are actually around. And it's kind of weird to look at antinatalists and be like, okay, great. What do you all stand for? Oh, we don't believe that like we should procreate, or that, you know, there is no net positive conception to procreation. And some of their arguments are basically like this, right? So because humans were born and humans keep reproducing, we're murdering the planet and thereby killing ourselves. Then there's another conception of, you know, your parents obviously didn't ask if you wanted to be created, nor did you consent to be created at all. You just kind of were born without anyone's consent.
You know what my mom said to me about that once?
What?
Because as a joke, I said I didn't ask you to be born. She said, no, you're lying to me because you're the sperm that won. Out of all your millions brothers and sisters, you were the one that got to the egg. Huh? So shut up.
Oh, damn, man. Your mom coming at you with all this fucking, like, stuff, so...
I swear to God, I'm the first child. How does she have a response for everything I say?
Right? Because I'm the youngest, so my parents were just like, they didn't really try. They were just kind of like, yeah, I don't care. Just go. Like, it's one of those of, I guess they like, I am being a little, like, facetious here, but obviously my parents, like, did explain things to me, but it was not like they didn't try as hard for, like, you know, my sister or my eldest
firstborn?
brother. Yeah, the firstborn. Because the firstborn, they would actually have, like, arguments with this stuff. But for me, they'd just be kind of like, oh, yeah, that really sucks. And then they would stop talking. Yeah. So it's one of these things of, okay, so the idea of the negative ethics behind antinatalism is that human beings need to affirm that they are that they want to, right? Because the whole idea is that if you're not given autonomy over your body, then you don't have autonomy over anything, right? And that essentially being acquired as a human by birth means that you're going to just decay and deteriorate and decline, and then you're going to have anguish that was put on you that you didn't ask for. And like, you have to understand, I honestly don't believe in the antinatalist stuff. The only thing that I'm really antinatalist about is not having kids myself, but those are for completely opposite reasons of what this is. But
this is my goddamn life, not theirs. Fuck them. Fuck the kids.
Still, what is it? There are other people throughout history that actually don't believe in that actually believe in antinatalism. So, do you know from American history these people called Shakers?
No, I've heard of Quakers. Are they similar at all or not?
No, not at all.
Okay.
The Shakers are a non-Trinitarian restorist Christian church, which is just a very fancy way of saying they are non-denominational. But Shakers believe that sex is the root of all sin, and that procreation is a sign that humanity has fallen to its lowest state. And the reason that they called them Shakers is that rather than practicing intercourse, what they would do is that they would get the men and women in basically like a dance hall, and then they would have them synchronize dance to each other without the men and women touching, and it was very separated by the sexes to prevent sex from happening inside of their commune. Now, obviously, if you're a fucking Shaker and you don't fuck, then you're not going to have kids. So what does that mean? Oh, man, the Shakers kind of died out. So
I don't know why I'm laughing because I honestly was expecting something different than the Shakers went extinct,
yeah,
but that was the
so
most obvious course of action. I actually I might have my first smart guy question ever for the
okay,
show.
yeah,
And that question is if you believe that procreation is the root of evil, then what do you think about survival of the fittest? What do you think about like the animal kingdom? Because like procreation is like one of the most basic human like instincts, and well, no,
well,
not
it's a
even human,
basic
animal
animal
instinct.
instinct, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it's one, food, two, make the species stronger, right?
Yeah,
And the only reasons humans are at the top is because we were smarter than everybody else. If dogs were smarter than us, then dogs would be in our position. So I am honestly curious what they think about all animal life, like all life, period. Because even plants follow basic needs for procreation. So that's actually
well,
what
could
would
you could also say
do
that
they have an
animals?
argument for
Well, you
that?
could also say that animals don't. Animals and plants don't have autonomy because they don't understand the concept of autonomy, nor do they understand. They're basically ruled by their biological functions.
So we're too smart to live.
So we're too smart of like whatever. So if you take it for religious reasons, right? So if you do the antinatalist argument for religion reasons like the Shakers did, then obviously oh geez, I don't know. You could say that like essentially the only way that like everyone will stop suffering and that the devil will lose the war is that everyone just stops having sex and then we all die out naturally and then we're all gonna go like to heaven like if we do the good thing and then that will start like I don't know some kind of apocalyptic event to like bring the kingdom of heaven for 1,000 years or whatever the fucking bullshit they talk about is. But I don't know because think about it, plants don't have consciousness, right? And if they do, it's something that we can't perceive as consciousness as human beings. And, you know, the other part of it is in Halloween Town, right? Did you notice that there were only like 2 kids? Like everyone else is an adult.
There was there was a kid on the leash, the Boogie Boys. By the way, Jack was like, and don't you dare bring Boogie Oogie into this. Then why would you go to
Yeah.
the Boogie Kids?
Why would you
the
hire
Boogie
his
Boys?
gang, right? It's like saying,
But,
hey, I'm going to use the Crips, but I don't want the Crips boss to find out that I'm using the Crips to
Exactly.
go kidnap someone, right? So
Yeah, so no, you're right. There are like 5 kids if we can't count that little bat baby thing with like the massive wings.
I don't know. Maybe that thing's like 2,000 years old. Who the fuck knows?
Ooh, so it's of legal age.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You know what the other part I noticed in the movie was is that like when they were doing the prizes on Halloween night, they were like the vampire who sucked the most blood out of something in a single evening, and then the skinny vampire came up and accepted the award.
Yo, he's got that metabolism. What can you say?
The other aspect is you talked about that kid on the leash. Dude, a kid on a leash back in 1993 was like unimaginable, right? Those things did not exist. Like the little vests for toddlers. Like they run around with leashes.
I still haven't seen one in real life.
Dude, I have seen one in real life, and it's fucking wild looking at this child like they're fucking dogs. But I understand it, right? Because like kids, they just want to move
I
around.
understand it too. Yeah, no, like my sister Dakota, we've lost her in so many malls, so many so many theme parks. That's the word.
Yeah.
Water parks, regular parks. Dakota will just wander because she sees a butterfly or something. So we always like assigned her. And at one point, I even thought, why don't we just get one of those kid leashes and like put it on a bracelet for her?
Oh my god, right?
Like that was an actual suggestion.
Like, because they
She
have
was
the
like,
little backpacks, vests, right? That connect.
oh
to
yeah,
the
yeah,
leash.
that could work.
Yeah. Well, no, because they have the ones now, right? But still, just in 1993, that it was so horrifying to see a child on a leash that the creators put that for like the kid that has his eyes literally sewn shut, right? So,
Jeez, that was horrifying. Like this movie is fucked up when you pause to think about it because like as a kid it's like just scary, but as an adult like these monsters mean something. Like the two-faced mayor. Like come on.
oh yeah, I
The
didn't know that
two-faced
I didn't know
politician.
that they had asked Ted Cruz to be in this. So,
I love that mayor.
Right.
Because, what was that thing? Jack, please open up. I'm only an elected official.
I can't make decisions by myself.
And at the end of the movie, when Jack gets fucking obliterated by the U.S. Air Force, oh, I knew this was a bad idea from the beginning. Like, shut up, bitch. Come on.
Yeah,
But yeah, like, so as an adult, these monsters become fucking terrifying. Like, yeah, I forgot his eyes was sewn shut. That's
Dude,
horrific.
what about the devil that just says it's time to party? I agree with the devil on that one, right?
Literally, Satan's right there. Wait, what was that scene from Wreck-It Ralph? Thanks, Satan.
Thanks, Satan. Yeah, like, just, you see that devil's like, it's time to party. And he just, like, throws down a fat sack of, like, ecstasy pills. And you're just like, oh, shit. Okay, dude. Yeah.
Also, Jack never seen snow. What's this? And I'm like, oh, so Jack's a Texan.
I know. Well, the other part of it is, like, Santa brings snow, right? But Halloween Town has never dealt with snow because they're in their own little, like, bubble, their own little world, right? So Santa has effectively crippled their entire town by having it snow in a place that is not used to snow, right?
And speaking of not used to snow, those witches immediately started a hockey league, and they were good at it, so they were hiding something from all of us.
Dude, they're witches, right? Like, witches do whatever the fuck they want to. So, I mean, except live during medieval times, but still. Yeah.
Also, one last thing.
Yeah.
Jack was trying to, like, figure out the secret of Christmas, and I understand it was adorable. Actually, two more things. I was thinking, Jack, why not just go back and ask them instead of robbing them?
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Well, because he robbed him the first time, right? Because he stole a snowmobile and then
He
stole
mugged
all the other Christmas stuff, right?
He's reading through Rudolph. No, no, no.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
And, actually, three last things. Well, I just got rid of one of them.
Three? You greedy?
One thing is, I actually related a lot to Jack at the end because he's like, damn it, I tried my best. But you know what? Fuck it. They got some stories to tell. And now I'm actually super excited to do what I do best. But I really got to fix this issue because I went through that. I went through 4 different jobs before going back to my original job and being like, just that, like, geez, I really fucked up. I lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
But hey, now I know. I have that experience.
Yeah.
I know what I'm good at. I know what I like.
Yeah.
So now I'm back in my old job and everything's groovy.
This movie is surprising when it comes down to, like, a lot of really interesting concepts, right? That you can see some of the other writers that adapted this poem into a fucking movie have actually
that's
tried.
a fantastic lesson.
I know, right? Well, it also highlights for me, like, burnout and, like, when you find your passion again by trying other things. And I think
that
that's
makes
great,
sense.
right? I think he was really passionate and really, like, kind of, like, you know, incensed in this whole idea of Christmas being, you know, the being. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, I'm not good at any of this, but you know what was I good at? I was good at being the Pumpkin King. So I'm going to go back to being that. And I'm not mad that I failed at this because it made me come back to that. And I was like, that's actually, like, a concept I honestly think that we've kind of strayed from a little bit of, like, failure being okay.
Yeah.
Because no one likes to fail, really.
Mm-hmm.
We really don't, right? So for some of our viewers who didn't know, like, when I first met my spouse, right? We met when I was trying to go to the graduate program for criminal justice. And I decided that it wasn't for me. So then I decided to drop out. Well, guess what happened? That school decided to go ahead and just fail me and give me zeros for the entire semester. And the only thing that I was really mad about was the fact that I had to do, like, a semester and make A's in every single subject before they would allow me into grad school for history.
Ah, fuck.
Like, I had to make a perfect 4.0. And just to prove them wrong, I made a perfect 4.0 my entire academic career in that grad school. So,
Bro, nothing is such a motivator like spite.
dude, malicious compliance is, like, all I have right now, especially with my work, right? Like, you need to do it. You need to be here at this time. And then I'll show up on the dot at that time. And then I'll leave my station my duty station as soon as the time passes. And like they were like, wait, where are you going? We still have like blah blah blah. And I'm like, what, dude? I gotta go. Like, you know, I did my job. You asked me to be here at this time. And then they get mad at me. I'm like, what? I am complying with what you're asking. So stop, right?
And one last thing I wanted to say, because you told me there was a big thing you wanted to talk about, but you didn't tell me what it was yet. So my last thing is no adult faces in this movie, which I appreciated it because it was a kids movie for kids about holidays. Do we count him as an adult? He's a magical creature. No adult faces. No policeman, no newswoman, no military Air Force. I can't believe Jack was shot out of the sky by a fucking anti-air artillery shell.
By some THAAD missiles that we had. You know, because it's not like America couldn't handle that threat right then, right?
Bro, So I thought it was funny that they, like, there's an imposter on the loose. No worries. The military's on.
No, don't worry about it. We'll murder the fuck out of this skeleton guy.
I mean, he kind of deserved it. I can guarantee a couple of kids died. That was a big-ass snake.
Dude, they shot 3 missiles at him. Like 3 missiles. And those missiles were like $30,000 each, right? So the United States government spent $90,000 shooting this man down out of the sky.
And then they didn't even go retrieve his body at the crash. He got away.
Yeah.
He got away with it in the end.
And the other part was that he just kind of was like, oh, I need to go back to Halloween Town. And then he just like busts through a crypt and walks down and goes to Halloween Town. I'm like, wait, so you didn't even need to go to like the forest and all that shit? You just like have these random access points? Like, what is the rules of this place?
You know what? That's just what fast travel in real life could you imagine me? All right, guys, I'm gonna go home, and I walk outside and I fall into a sewer, and it's like that's just my fast travel. All right, so what was that big thing you wanted to talk about?
So every year, there's always like talk around the goth cooler, right? The goth water cooler about like, hey, it's
only peace tea.
It's peace tea with vodka. It's spiced peace tea with vodka. Jesus. Yeah. Still,
drink Arizona, you heretics. Continue.
Dude, you don't understand. Arizona green tea, 99¢, dude. That's like actually one of my favorite drinks. Every time like I go to Europe and I come back, I have a tradition of like getting the Arizona green tea from the airport or getting it from like the gas station on the way home and drink it. Because they don't have it over there, right? And all the other fucking tea shit that they have is like not that processed sugary bullshit. And I want that processed sugary bullshit because the ones that they have in Ireland and England are just basically like really fancy pinky finger up kind of fucking tea. And I don't want that. I had that for like 2 weeks in that summer, and I'm just like, hey, I'm tired of this shit. I want something else. But still. Enough. My rant is that like, so behind the goth cooler with our spiked peach tea with vodka, because you know we got to have flavored vodka because we're all pussies. This entire question comes up of, would you say that The Nightmare Before Christmas, is it a Christmas movie or is it a Halloween movie?
Oh,
because I want to hear your arguments before I tell you what I firmly believe. Because I've actually started, like, I've asked people before what they think, and then when I said my answer, people actually got really confrontational about it. So
I mean, they're goths. This is the only thing they have.
Right?
So it starts with Halloween and it ends on Christmas, and
there's a year in between the first scene to the last scene, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember, because the start Halloween and then he goes into Christmas, and then it's like, oh,
I thought this took place in like 2 months between Halloween and between Christmas.
Oh yeah, it does. Sorry, don't listen to me. I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was like, wait, was it a year ago
right.
or so? Yeah, but go ahead.
So on the spot, I'm gonna say Christmas. It starts on Halloween. Yes, it stars Halloween characters, but they're learning about the meaning of Christmas. It's not about the scares. It's not about all that. It's about camaraderie, love, family, gift giving, and in the end, that's what like. Okay, so I have some holes in my thing, but starts on Halloween, ends on Christmas. Has more Christmas values. I'm gonna say it's a Christmas movie.
Is it a Christmas movie? Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
me.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna argue, and I'm gonna argue this, and honestly, to all the fans out there who want to at me at this, email us at nerdhell nerdhellpodcast at gmail.com, and I will respond to you and give you a reason why you're wrong. But
Or tweet at us at NerdHellPodcast.
and then Robinson will send me the screenshots because I don't use Twitter. So I believe firmly that this is a Thanksgiving movie. Yes, laugh. Take it in. Like, believe in that disbelief. Okay.
No, if my dog farted, that wasn't me. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you explain that.
So, the whole idea for Thanksgiving is this idea of being thankful for what you have, what you're good at, what you got.
Oh
right?
my God! No, I can see it. I see it now.
And the entire movie deals with Jack's feelings of wanting something else, but not realizing that he literally has it made. He's the most privileged person inside of the entire part of Halloween, right? And he doesn't recognize it. He's got ladies simping for him. He's got this entire town basically at his beck and call. He's essentially
the mayor.
leader, the mayor, an elected official, because apparently Halloween Town is evolved enough to have a fucking democracy, that they are essentially like, oh, I'm burnt out on Halloween, I just don't like it. And then he goes and tries this other stuff, and then he realizes at the end of the movie, his final coming to terms and becoming the hero instead of the anti-hero is him going, you're right, I was really good at Halloween, and I was really good as a pumpkin king. I'm thankful for this. And then even recognizing Sally, because even though they have like a fucked up gothy relationship that I adore, but also I'm kind of like, hey, y'all really need to see a couples therapist. My entire thing about this is that Santa and Jack is basically told by Santa that he needs to appreciate all the shit that he's got. And he does. And so he becomes thankful for it, and it ends. So, think about it like this also, is that most of the movie takes place in between Halloween and Christmas. What holiday also comes in between Halloween and Christmas? Thanksgiving.
Black Friday.
Black Friday. Yes. Black Friday, where it's like Halloween Town, except Halloween Town people apparently have fucking rules. But still, I honestly 100% will die on this hill, both metaphorically and literally, that this fucking movie is a Thanksgiving movie and should be watched on Thanksgiving rather than Halloween.
You want to know the final nail in the coffin?
What?
That was this movie completely overlooks Thanksgiving, just much like Thanksgiving in real life.
It does. And you know
Bro,
why?
because,
it's because
people
it's
will
about
put
his personal journey to understand what it means to be thankful for the shit that he's got. So,
bro, people will literally put up Christmas decorations after Halloween, and I'm against that because, out of all the American holidays, Thanksgiving's my favorite, especially since my mom remarried a white man and then learned the white man's Thanksgiving. Oh
yeah.
Bro, American Thanksgiving is so goddamn tasty.
Yeah, it's honestly antithetical to Puritan Thanksgiving holiday and practices, but you know what? That's for whenever we do a fucking Thanksgiving movie or some kind of shit, right? But
is
still.
antithetical Puritarian, is that how you say cheesy potatoes?
No, antithetical concepts of Puritanism is this idea that it's not cheesy potatoes, because Puritan Thanksgiving was essentially wake up, go to church for 6 hours, then go home and pray and fast.
Is there fast? So
Yeah.
there's no food at church?
No, dude. The whole idea of Thanksgiving, being thankful and that kind of shit in Puritanism was this idea of hey, I'm just going to go be thankful to God, right? And so their idea of being thankful to God was carrying out this religious ceremony where they would go to church, get into that kind of Zen-like state, and then they would spend the rest of the day praying to God while they were fasting. So
I mean, as a Christian man myself, I can't even. What I can't even. Like when I pray, I can't even think of like a full 2 minute conversation with God. Like, so how you doing today, God? I'm thankful about these things.
hey God,
Uh,
how about let's talk about some other subjects. Yeah. So can you tell me what's up with that
so
bug that bores into children's eyes? Like,
Oh yeah. Like at one point I would not know what to be thankful for anymore. Can I just say, God, I'm thankful for everything? Like he knows me. He knows that I'm sincere. He knows I'm good for it, all right?
yeah.
He knows. Like I'm like 6 hours of church. What would we even talk about? How many testimonies are there?
Dude, I don't fucking get it. Like, I honestly don't know. But still, the dude, this movie is a Thanksgiving movie, like 100%. Like, in the idea, the whole idea behind like the original first Thanksgiving was that like after like the Puritans did their fucking trip over to America, and they were successful in growing food for the first time. They invited like the natives of the local area around so that they could like basically get drunk and do that kind of stuff, which is not what they would do normally for a Thanksgiving. So they didn't even call it Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving food and like on the first Thanksgiving was like seal and clams and corn and that kind of stuff, right? So it's not even the stuff that we're talking about now. So, hey, there you go.
Oh, I gotta say, I can't wait for the sequel where the Easter Bunny launches a full frontal assault on Halloween Town for the gross kidnapping of its mayor.
Oh, well, guess what? The official film soundtrack CD that they released in 1994 contains an epilogue that's not in the film, stating that many years later, Santa actually came back to Halloween Town to visit Jack, and he discovered that Jack had 4 or 5 skeleton children, and who played the xylophone in a band together.
So you're telling me Dr. Finkelwrinkle or whatever his name is built a reproductive system in his cotton doll?
Dude, he was experimenting with her. Like, you not remember that whole entire thing that we were talking about of him basically like making incest too? Because he basically built like himself and put his brain in, and it was just like I had in one of my notes. I was like, so did the doctor basically marry his child or his relative? Because
you know what? This is the prequel to Her.
oh yeah. Yeah, ScarJo. That's actually a movie we should probably watch at some point.
I've never seen Her.
It's really good. Yeah, like
okay,
I saw
I
it
know.
way long ago. Like before the like it actually makes more sense now that like with the pandemic and everything, the whole being caught with technology, that kind of shit. I think that would be something really interesting we could explore.
All right, and I will say this. Now that Dr. Frinklewinkle married the left side of his brain, he's the calculative one, and she's the creative one.
Oh, yeah, right?
Yeah,
right.
It's adorable.
I know. But I thought he didn't like creative people, right? Like Sally. Because obviously Sally has that perfect emo love story with Jack.
Well, it's an emo love story that you throw bread at somebody's doorstep and then run away when they see you. Is that what emo is?
Dude, what are your conceptions of emo culture and goth culture? Man, you're so...
Panic at the Disco.
Panic at the Disco? Yeah, there's a lot of those, right? There's a lot of shirts.
That's about it.
It's just about it, yeah. Great.
Wait, no. Oh, how did I forget? My Chemical Romance. Boom.
Yeah, MCR, dude.
Drop
Totally,
the mic.
100%. Oh my god.
Umbrella Academy. Boom.
Damn. Yeah.
Raven from Teen Titans. Boom.
Dude, oh my god. Goals, dude. 100% goals. Shit. I don't know. Dude,
See,
I should
I know how
actually
to be
start
emo.
watching Teen Titans again. Because now I'm like, I'm technically using your fucking, your account for HBO Max.
No worries. This is how homies do it.
Yeah, this is how. All right, because we're also literally in hell. Aren't our two mascots like an Aztec warrior and like the Norse goddess Hel?
Oh, yeah, I forget that was our thing.
So
I
Halloween should
completely
totally
forgot
be our
that.
month, dude, my guy, right? Like put the Christianity on pause. Let's do some pagan shit. Just
I think our month has to be Easter because there's no better hell religion than a religious religion. I mean, hell holiday than a religious holiday.
Oh, so dude, speaking of religious holidays, when Jack said, "What does it mean?" he started like the scientific method. I put so he's trying to be logical about a religious holiday. Like,
Bro, he accidentally found God,
oh my, he
and then he
steals it. Yeah.
kidnapped him.
Oh my, yeah, he steals it.
God gets kidnapped by three fucking ADHD riddled children.
I did notice though that um, Lock, Shock, and Barrel were essentially the kids that like the monsters were afraid of, and they always wore masks, and they always wore masks like witches, but they were just children, right?
Yeah, they were just actual
They were
kids.
just actual children, and all the monsters are actually scared of them because they're wearing masks and all that other shit,
It's Boogie's boys.
which is essentially Halloween, right? Because the whole form of Halloween is that like ancient Halloween, you used to dress up like ghosts and shit, so that like when you would go out and like celebrate with other your neighbors or that kind of stuff, like the spirits that were coming or going would not like take you with them. So wouldn't it make sense that the monsters are scared of like the kids dressing up as them because it's kind of like it's like the perfect thing to represent that holiday?
One kid, one kid was dressed up like the devil,
And
and
everyone was
I
a
like
skeleton.
thinking,
Yeah.
I like the implication that the devil isn't real. He's just a Halloween creature.
What are you talking about? The devil's ready to party. He just
No,
wants
no,
to-
but I just like that implication that the devil doesn't rule like the underworld where you get tortured for eternity. The devil's just in Halloween Town taking Xannies and scaring kids.
the devil's just fucking just like around, just fucking around Halloween Town.
Bro, the devil's just in Halloween Town living like Post Malone.
He's
That's
just
all he
like, yeah,
does.
he's like, dude, I mixed a whole bunch of lean together with cigarettes. Let's see where this night goes.
Of course it's bad for your health. I'm immortal, idiot.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, because the other thing is that they can't die in Halloween Town either, right?
No, yeah, they. That's the last time you poisoned me with deadly nightshade.
No shit. Dude, I don't know. I think looking at this as an adult now, right? This movie has like it hits much differently than when I was a kid, right? Because when I was a kid, I remember watching this movie and being like, "Oh, dude, Jack and Sally, oh, it's so awesome," or I like the music and that kind of thing. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, I resonate a little bit more with it.
Like I
And
said, I 1000% relate to Jack with that. I tried something new and I fucked it up. But hey, let's just go back to what I know, and I like appreciate it more now. I'm like happier as a person because I did this.
yeah, and that's something obviously you've been like really focused on and really trying to get through, right? Because we've been talking outside of this, and that's something you've been really working at, right? And I really think that you're
Yeah,
doing well with
just
that kind
trying
of
to
shit.
get back on a financially stable path.
Well,
Although
I
I will
think for
s-
me, sorry, go ahead.
I will say that I'm still as stupid as ever because my car was leaking a shit ton of oil today, and I thought, oh fuck, it's completely ruined. No. And like out of like a plea of desperation, I'm like, I'm just gonna pop the trunk. Maybe it's something obvious. I forgot to lock the dipstick back in. So I think I lost like because I filled my car with oil because it has a minor leak in it,
Yeah.
right? Um, so I do it like every month. And I thought it was like finally over. That's it. I ruined it. It's done. The car is dead. But no, I just forgot to put the fucking dipstick back on, making me the dipstick.
Yeah. You'll find a lot of shit like that growing up. You just be like, oh man, what did
Yeah,
I
no,
do?
this was the second time I've considered giving myself corporal punishment.
Great. So, I because you speaking of like Jack being someone you kind of empathize with, I actually kind of empathize with Sally a lot. Like that feeling of like not really knowing what you want to do and being sad about not being noticed or like not being listened to is essentially like my kind of thing, right? Is like I get her and I understand her, and now I've never jumped out of a window, right? I've never been defenstrated before, but hey, life is short, apparently. So who knows?
Yeah, and my window's on the ground floor, so let's do it.
I only have a 1-story house, so let's try this. Like, get some sugar glass like they use in the movies, and like legitimate, dude, that would be so awesome to like try that, like jump through glass.
Just jump out a window.
Yeah, like
No, I know exactly what you mean.
Like just for like being like really dramatic or whatever. Like one time, if like I at my job just like hear someone say something and I'm just like, you know what, that's it, I'm done, and then I just jump through the window. And but it's like we're been replaced with sugar glass and everything, and just have cameras and just see if like like what people's reactions are to that. I would pay for it. I would save up my money.
That might be amazing.
Yeah.
That could be amazing.
Dude.
Also, unfortunately, I am running short on time, so we got to get going. So I'm out of all my notes. Do you have any last things you want to say?
I'm out of, let's see. Let me look, because I'm pretty sure like we've covered a lot in this one, right? So
yeah.
Let's see. We already went through people simping really hard for Jack. We have
that shit sucked. Like
we have Sally in a abusive parental relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that one, right? Because the doctor makes arguments out of guilt that mimics parents that show entitlement or narcissism, right? Because he is a narcissist. Did Jack steal all that stuff from Christmas?
He's literally gonna fuck himself.
Yeah, dude, right? So, yeah. No, I think the only thing that we haven't gone over is just essentially the last two that I have is, why is Oogie afraid of Jack? Did Jack beat Oogie before?
Yo, I honestly think that Jack knows like Taekwondo or some shit. He is a master acrobat.
Dude, he's got capoeira. Some reach, dude. He's also got that reach. Too.
He does. And Oogie Boogie, he ain't got no reach.
I know. He's also got pants as tight as an emo kid going to see a fucking band concert.
Maximum mobility.
Going to see My Chemical Romance in Austin, and he's gonna like be there. But still, the other one at the end that I put just to be kind of like flippant was, kissing Jack must be really dry because he's a skeleton, right?
Did we see him shed tears?
Yeah, I think we saw him shed like one tear, but then the other part of it is that he's just basically bone. So then, like, Sally kissing him, she's just basically pressing her face up against, like, a hard surface.
No, but remember, in our last episode, we literally discussed how skeletons are wet at all times.
But he's dead.
No, he's alive. He's moving.
He's dead. He's, like, literally dead. He even says that he's dead in one of the songs.
Hey, we all feel sad from time to time. No. We all see that really funny meme, and we're all like, "Oh my god, I'm dead."
Great. Well, this has been Sally's kind of creepy, unrequited love talking to you through the internet, and I don't know.
Yes, and viewers, don't worry. If you love us, we won't be parasocial. At least I won't. I'm very lonely.
Dude,
reach out.
I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to live right now.
You're a married man. You don't have to give a shit.
I'm a married something. That's what I do. That's what I am. Who the fuck knows? I don't even know. What the fuck? So, shit. Yeah, so this movie, I'll give it I own it, and I have several copies. I have one in DVD and Blu-ray, and I watch it every year. So, obviously, I'm going to have this as a, go watch it, really. Go buy it. Go support it. Go to Hot Topic and buy a t-shirt with Sally and Jack and their creepy love, right?
And mine is gonna be the Boogie Boy Gang because it's a 4 out of 5.
It's a 4 out of 5. Great.
Yes.
So can I send you, because, you had a birthday recently, so can I send you in your birthday package just like a whole bunch of like Nightmare Before Christmas shit, and then your roommate's gonna be like, are you okay? Have you not gone through your teenage emo phase yet?
When you said that, I thought you were going to send me a head in a box.
Oh, a head in a box. Or a pumpkin in a box, a jack in the box that just chases you.
Jeez.
There you go. You get your cardio in. You don't have to go to the gym.
I like how Santa Claus just ran around beating the shit out of these Halloween things.
Well, it's because he's Santa Claus, right? He's got massive powers to do whatever the fuck he wants. So I don't know.
Honestly, yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, bye everybody.
On this episode, I'm gonna give the go to hell to the Boogie Boys because god damn, I've dealt with those kids in real life before.
Yeah. No. See you in hell, you little fuckers.
Especially the Satan one. Night, folks.